Hey doing guys, I'm 905. And lately I've been getting quite a few questions about Armored Warfare from the people that I used to play World of Tanks together. Like, how is the game? Is it any good? So I decided to put together this video that I'm gonna title my top 5 reasons why I switched from World of Tanks to Armored Warfare. And no, the actual reasons isn't gonna be 5, they're probably gonna be more. But I'm gonna call them top 5 anyway. And since the majority of my subscribers to my YouTube channel are from World of Tanks or World of Tanks Blitz, maybe I can lure a few of the guys into the Armored Warfare, at least to get them to try out. And I think that would be a win-win situation for everybody. So let's go, my top 5 reasons. So reason number 1, it's basically plug and play. If you're good in World of Tanks, you're gonna be good in Armored Warfare. I mean, it's pretty much the same game, only with cooler engine running it and with the cooler tanks and a lot of cool features that we will talk about shortly. But yeah, that's reason number 1, is basically plug and play. If you're good in World of Tanks, you're gonna be good in Armored Warfare. So reason number 2 is the CryEngine. And man, I gotta tell you, I think it's the best looking engine out there to build the games on. It is the most taxing engine on your PC hardware as well, but damn, it looks so good. From the first time I tried out the Crysis 3, I went back on to try the Crysis 2, and then I went back to try the Crysis 1 as well. Wanted to start off by showing you this beginning of the PvP battle. I mean, doesn't it just look astonishing? The lighting reflections on the water itself, and, you know, the quality of the textures and the shadows and everything. Or this, you start your battle in this part of the burned down forest, and then you see the ground is still on fire, and it just gives you that atmosphere of the battle. And also all the weather effects, like you can see the rain coming down that turns into the fog that you can barely see through. Or suddenly the sandstorms come in and you just get this message in the middle of the screen that your spotting range is reduced by 50%. Or this new global operations map, where basically the all battle you fight in the middle of the snowstorm. And not only the snowstorm is going on, also the smoke grenades are going off. So for the brief moment of time, it's complete chaos on a battlefield. So reason number 3 is that there's no premium ammo in the game, but what you get is different shell types available for each tank, and also different kind of weapon systems. Let me just demonstrate to you that quickly. So take the T-14 Armata, the tier 10 Russian main battle tank, as an example. Everybody uses the AP rounds on it, but if you're so inclined to, you can use the anti-TIE guided missiles on it as well. When it comes to tier 10 American battle tank, the Abrams, you basically have 2 choices. Either single shell 140mm gun or the 120mm fast draw weapon with 2 shells. I chose to go for the double barrel one, and I play it from the defense mainly. So the next weapon system that I wanted to showcase to you is this armored fighting vehicles that come with guided missiles and autocannon. And they are also scouts of the Armored Warfare with the high speeds and great camo values. But there's a downside to that, they are on wheels, and in Armored Warfare the tanks that are on wheels are really hard to control, so you really have to get used to them. When it comes to tank destroyers, there's basically 2 types. Let's say 3 types of tank destroyers. One of them are equipped with anti-tank guided missiles and a machine gun. The second type is just with a single shell, and the third type is with an autoloader. This particular tank is the T-15, the tier 10 tank destroyer, with 4 anti-tank guided missiles and autocannon. And this is probably one of the most destructive forces in the tier 10, just by the sheer damage output it can do and the shared bursts. And this is my Centauro 120, which is tier 9 tank destroyer with a 6 shell autoloader. As in you can see, it's no Borsig. It can drive around the map with 100 kilometers per hour, making it just a breeze to relocate while you're reloading that autoloader, which by the way gonna take some time. That full clip to reload is gonna take 30 seconds. But the gun is excellent. It's very accurate and the penetration values are good. And the camo values are good on this tank as well. So really nice choice for a tier 9 tank destroyer. I would say that just a couple updates ago the light tanks was really bad to play, just because they didn't excel in any particular area. For spotting, the armored fighting vehicles could do the job, for tanking the main battle tanks, and for the damage dealing as well the main battle tanks, so the role of light tanks were kind of non-existent. But it all got fixed a couple patches ago when they gave them the autoloader. So now the light tanks are sort of like damage dealers in armored warfare. They fast maneuverable with the autoloaders, and now with passive skills as well to increase their camo values. So reason number 4 is that it's really hard to find any bad premium tanks in a game. Mostly it's because of what they do is they take the regular tanks and they just put some crazy cam on it and they sell them as a premium tanks. Like for example this tier 6 Leopard 2 AV, which in my opinion is one of the strongest tier 6 tanks in a game. And what have they done is they put some polar bear cam on it and they sell it as a premium tank. And that actually happens quite often in this game, like these 3 tier 5 tanks. In my opinion they are the best tier 5 tanks in the game, and they made them all like a premium ones as well, just with the different camos on it. Also if you look in the Tech 3, there's this particular tank, the T80U, is probably the best tier 7 tank in a game, and you can buy that as a premium tank as well. Same goes with the Challenger, they made a premium version of that one as well. Same goes with the Stingray 2. And matter of fact, you know how everybody goes crazy about tier 8 premiums in World of Tanks? Well, in Armored Warfare it's basically tier 7s, everybody farms with tier 7 tanks. Well, some people have tier 8s and 9s and they farm with those as well. But I wouldn't say that credit coefficient is much better on 8s and 9s than it is on 7, and it's just a general a better play style to play tier 7s and farm all your cash there. Reason number 5, the reduced damage to the commander hatches. And this is probably one of my favorite ones. So basically you can do a full damage shots to the lower plate or to the turret ring, but for the most cases when you're gonna try to snipe some commander hatches, you gonna get through only like 10% of the damage. So if your regular shot is like 600, 500 damage, then the commander hatch damage gonna be about 50, 60. And this basically means that majority of the tanks can be a hold down tanks, if your gun depression allows it. The reason number 6. And the reason number 6 is that, similar to World of Tanks, there's too many sinkholes in the game. Basically you can buy either the premium tanks or the premium time. The only difference is that if you're good at a game, and this game can be a free to play game. Like for example, I got this tier 5 tank from the event. I got the only tier 9 premium tank from the event as well. And when I completed this event and I got tier 9, they did throw in a tier 8 premium tank for a good measure as well. And with these 3 tanks I basically don't need any other premium tank, but I chose to get a couple more. But you don't have to. When it comes to the premium time, there's a really cool reward system in the game called the reward boxes. Then you can get after each battle. Well, these 2 you can get from the challenges as well, but to get the platinum one, you basically have to finish top 1 in your team, and they don't give them every time. You really have to put effort in it to get one. But the rewards can be huge for this one. Like for example, not only you can get the bunch of credits. You can also get boosts, insignias and stuff, but also there's a chance that you will get either 7 days of premium or the month of premium. And as you can see here, I haven't bought any of this premium time. This is all I got from the platinum boxes. So basically I have 6 times 30, that's half a year of premium time. Then I have another 39 weeks of premium time, and then I have one booster for 2 weeks of premium time. I haven't really counted it, but last time I checked it, my premium time, if I'm gonna use it all, gonna expire like Christmas 2018. So that's a really cool system in this game. So if you're good, you basically never have to buy a premium time. Reason number, what reason is this? I think 7, is it 7? Reason number 7. Reason number 7 is that there's no stats in a game, if I can call them that. Like when you're actually in game, you don't see any visual differences between somebody who's really bad at the game or somebody who's really good at the game. Like there's no color indicators, there's no WN8 ratings, there's no star 1 ratings, none of that. And as far as I know, there's no external sites where you can go and check your score and compare to the other guy's score and blah blah blah. Like there's none of that bullshit in here. The only stats available in this game is basically this dossier, where you can basically see your own, like my PvP stats. I haven't really played any PvPs. My PvE stats, the battles and the win rate and the global ops, and then you can take the vehicles and just check your average win rate on vehicles and all that stuff. But I think the really great thing is that if you don't want to show your stats to anyone, you don't have to. Like for example, I have my friend list open here, and if I wanted to check a stat, let's say for Magnus, you can just do that by view dossier, and you can see that his records are private and he doesn't want to share them with anyone. So I think that's a really cool feature, and it just brings that more relaxed gameplay. Reason number 8 is the test drive feature of the game. Basically you can take any tank from the tech tree that you don't own, any of the premium tanks, any tier 10, tier 9s, like for example let's take this tier 9 tank, and before you buy it, or even before you start grinding all that line, you can test drive it, which takes you to this sandbox mode, where you can drive around, see the characteristics of the vehicle, how the gun performs, how the tank performs, the acceleration and everything. And also not only that, there's a different type of tanks just laid around all the map. Like there's a Stingray, there's Ramka, there's Leopard. So if you have problems penetrating any of these tanks and you just want to practice a bit and find their weak spots, you can just launch the test drive mode and drive around. Reason number 9. And the reason number 9 is the artillery. There is artillery in the game, but the only thing you can do with artillery is to kill bots. You can't take artillery and join PvP or join global operations. The only thing you can do is join PvE and shoot some bots with it. And I always hated World of Tanks for the artillery in games. I mean, it's such a stupid class of tanks, and you had to play around and you had to use cover and side scrape from rocks and all other bullshit. Just fucking Ebola gameplay the World of Tanks is with artillery. Anyway, enough with that. I never played artillery myself until I came to Armored Warfare, and ruining your karma and shooting people with artillery, that's one thing, but shooting bots with it for pleasure, that's a completely different thing. And whenever you're done with all the competitive aspects of PvP or global operations and you just want to relax, you have a nice bottle of cold beer and you just want to relax for a bit, just take your artillery and shoot some bots. Reason number 10. And in reason number 10, I wanted to showcase how you actually grind out tanks in Armored Warfare. So for example, you open the tech tree and you have your Abrams line that finishes at tier 10. So you would assume that in order to get this tank, you'll have to start out here and go through all these tanks. Well, it's partly true, and let me just explain you why. You have to grind out tanks after tanks until tier 8. You take 3, after that you can unlock 4, and so on. But you see this line over here? That means basically after you finish grinding out tier 8 Abrams, you get a token or coupon, or I don't even remember how it's called anyways. But the thing with it is you then can unlock any of these tier 9 tanks. So you don't have to take the tier 9 Abrams afterwards. You can take the Leopard, or you can take the Draco. And same thing goes with the tier 9s as well. Like you can skip the Abrams and take the Draco and then go back to Abrams again. Or maybe you heard that this tank is not particularly good, but you want the tier 10 Abrams, but you heard that Leopard is really good, which is probably not the case. But anyway, for the argument's sake, let's say it is. So you could take the 8, 9, and that's how you get to tier 10. And same goes with all the other lines as well. Like you can take this line to tier 8, then take Draco, and then take Leopard. Reason number 11. The PvE. And I forgot to tell you, the PvE is so good in this game that when I joined, I actually played only PvE for my first 1000 battles. And that's coming from me, probably one of the most competitive persons around. Yeah, but PvE is definitely great. It's a great fun. So there's 3 difficulty settings, the easy, medium and hard. I think easy and medium is pretty self-explanatory, but from tier 5 you open the mode hard. And the hard mode in PvE is challenging, at least in tier 5 and tier 6 and I would say even tier 7. In 8, 9, 10 it gets a lot easier just because your tanks are getting better and better. But even in the hard mode, it's not gonna be like walk in a park. Even if you're really good, you still need a team to win the PvE. There's no chance you can do it alone. But otherwise it's a really great fun. It's like a shooting gallery. Just drive around and shoot. But be careful where you actually drive into, because just one wrong move and you'll be surrounded by bots and they will take you apart in a matter of seconds. But once you get to know the maps and how the tanks work, it's basically walk in a park. You just stand and shoot and kill them. And it's fun, it's fun. I played the first 1000 battles like that. Didn't even occur to me that I should try out the PvP or the Global Ops. Until I actually tried out the Global Ops and I just seen the sheer amount of XP and the credits I was getting every battle from the global operations, and basically ever since I never went back to the PvE. Another thing I wanted to mention is the platoons in PvE. You can get up to 5-man platoons in PvE, and basically all your team composition just consists of the players in your platoon. So you can invite 4 of your friends and just spend a great evening in the PvE, killing bots. Reason number 12. And I just got one simple question to you. Do you want to drive around in this? Or in this? Of course it is kind of cool to drive around in a Tiger 1, or the KV-1, or the IS-3, or to derp someone with ISU-152's the BL-10 gun. But it gets boring. It gets boring and it's old and it looks old. To me it doesn't have that flavor anymore. And also the World of Tanks is so slow. You accelerate slowly. You aim slowly. Take this tank for example, the tier 5 Sheridan, which is basically equivalent to the KV-2 of World of Tanks. And whenever we want to have some fun in Armored Warfare, we take the Sheridan for a spin, load it full with HE, and just drive around slaughtering people. And while the KV-2 might be fun in World of Tank, but it's so slow, it's huge, it takes a fucking 2 weeks to actually aim and then you fucking miss. Come on, that's not a quality gameplay. Wouldn't you rather have a fun in the Sheridan? Do a crazy top speeds and just look how fast it aims. And the accuracy of the gun. Not only the gameplay is fast, so is the grind. I think it took me about 3 months to grind out all the tier 10 tanks in game. And this is partly to the reason that pretty much every weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's an event going on for extra XP. And on top of the events, you can also activate the boosts, and you have a chance to activate 2 boosts, basically to get some extra reputation per battle. And then on top of that, for each single battle, you can activate like insignias that gives you another extra 15% of reputation, or 10 or 25, depending which ones that you have. So the grind is pretty fast, and if you play the global operations regularly, then that money is not an issue as well. So yeah, basically now I have all the tier 10 tanks, and I'm buying some tier 7s and some tier 9s now, which I've sold previously but are pretty cool tanks, so I'm buying them back and equipping them with the equipment. But basically I can do whatever I want now. I can pick any of the tanks, and my garage is full of tanks. Like, these are only my tier 10s. There's some 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s, 5s. I don't keep nothing below tier 5. And I think I've saved the best for the last, the smoke grenades. I think this is the hands down the best feature in the game. It comes in handy in so many situations. Like, for example, your autoloader is finished and you have to get out of there, you just throw the smoke grenade down and turn around and just drive other way. Or you're sniping somewhere and the enemy gets too close, you just throw out your smoke grenade and relocate. And me personally, when I'm capping a base and there's 10 seconds left on the clock, I usually throw out a smoke grenade just to be sure that nobody interrupts my cap. And there's different types of smoke grenades available. For the main battle tanks, you pretty much have one smoke grenade every 90 seconds. But when it comes to tank destroyers or light tanks, you get an autoloader of smoke grenades. Some tanks have 2, some tanks have 3. Basically you can throw one out every 6 seconds, and it just adds that extra depth to the gameplay. I think that's one of the coolest features in the game. Okay, that's it. I'm wrapping all this up. There's probably something else that I can add, but this video turned out way longer than I anticipated, so I have to put a stop somewhere. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if after watching this video you decided to check out the Armored Warfare, please let me know in game. Just drop me a message and say hi. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. I'm 905 and I'm out.